Hey guys, this is Nathan, and this is Mobile Player Experience Week 4, and this is my reflection video for it. And this week we had to make an RFP response, and so I try to do that to the best of my abilities. It does include all the sections that were in the other RFP. I think I did it right. I'm not completely sure, I'll be honest. I didn't really understand this week's assignment. I felt there wasn't much about it. I mean, there's documents, and they were kind of helpful, but I still wasn't really sure what was expected. I didn't know if we were supposed to be kind of countering the previous thing, if we were supposed to be agreeing, or what. So I just kind of did it as a combination of saying who I am and like the background and business objectives, what the game's going to be, and then some of these down here like timeline and intangibles kind of respond to MPX and acknowledge them. And so the game, just to jump right into it, I do feel that it fits the mobile heuristic stuff we went through, and I believe it does also talk about it. It talked very much so about the general gameplay and how that's going to affect different players. It talked about the reward system, multiplayers, multiple player, how it handles that, in-game purchases, stopping and playing. So it really acknowledged a lot of those things I felt, and I feel I did it in an adequate manner. I kind of did it in order on here as to what was being asked for. On the previous document, I just kind of responded to it and said, you know, this is how it's going to be here, 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 here. And yeah, and I think it'll have a positive experience. I don't have images, but that's because I really don't know the exact images I want to use yet. So that's going to take a while for me to figure out. Let's see. So I'll just kind of talk about my game. I think that's kind of the best way to sum this part up. So the game I'm making is called The Mall. If you're familiar with tower defense games, and if you're familiar with Battle.net, then you probably know what I'm referring to there. There's this player-made game called The Winter Mall, made by Duke Wintermall, and it was a really awesome game. I don't know why people stopped playing it, but it was really awesome, and it was made through the Warcraft 3 game creator type thing, so kind of this drag and drop type thing where I think you're able to put in some of your own code. But essentially, I want to replicate that on a mobile experience, and so that's what this is. And so it's an amazing tower defense game. So you basically have your towers, and you actually build a maze that you have to have all of your enemies go through. And so it's not they're just running on a track. It's something they're running on a track, and you try to interrupt that track with however you can. There's going to be 32 waves. That's kind of this game system on it for levels, and there's also going to be multiple maps that people can use. Different maps will have slightly different enemies, slightly different game mechanic, but in general be relatively the same. And you'll have 32 waves per map. Each wave gets a little more difficult so that it's really wide ranged, and the main thing that makes them more difficult besides health is some of them will have like special abilities. Some of them will be flying, so they are not going to maze. You need to make sure your towers can attack them. You're going to have some that are more resistant to the damage you're doing, or they're faster, stuff like that. To help counter all of that, you actually are able to choose a specialty at the beginning for your towers. So some examples would be like frost or fire. Fire would do like burn damage over time. Frost would slow down people, siege would attack more at once, speed would be faster, stuff like that, and you'll have a few different selections you can choose from right there. Rewards will be through an achievement unlock system. Basically, you get achievements, and that will kind of be bragging rights, but also as you get certain achievements, if you get them grouped together in a certain manner, then you'll unlock more different kinds of towers that you can do, different maps, stuff like that. Multiplayer will be handled through single player leaderboards, so ranking system online that kind of shows if they survived, how many lives they had left if they did, and the scores that the person received. Multiplayer will be handled through kind of like if you played a Winter Mall, then you know that you had this map, you had multiple players in different spots, and they were responsible for that specific area and that spawn point. And they had to try to kill all of their monsters there. Well, same mechanic. You know, each person's responsible for their own spawn point, and if any monsters get past their maze, then it goes to the next person down the line until, heaven forbid, if it gets through all the people in that line, it gets to the final person, and hopefully they kill it, or it gets to your life source and it does damage to you. So basically, exact same mechanic there. Revenue will be generated through both paid apps and also by in-game purchases of like tower classes and new map packs, cool things like that that people will be interested in. And then the whole, if it can handle the typical mobile format of basically you're not always playing it for a long term, you play it whenever you can. Single player mode, it'll auto save if you want to have that turned on. It'll also save if you go to like a phone call, or it'll pause. Players will have some control over that in the settings. And then and the autosave is something that I thought would be cool because it is a lengthy game to play, and so it sucks if your phone dies because you lose whatever is there. So by having autosave and it's saving every now and then, you don't have to worry about losing everything. I'm thinking save every wave, something like that, so it's always kind of your most recent thing as opposed to a minute-based system. Online multiplayer, you won't really be able to save that just because I feel that it would be a big mess to set up, because I actually want to make this, so you know, I thought this was a good opportunity to talk about it. But online multiplayer, to make it easier, will have a system where you can see whenever people you've marked as friends are online and in game, and it'll also give you kind of like a group creator type thing where if you just want to play a quick game, it'll quick pair you with a few different people and push you into the game. So I feel that kind of helps. So that's the game. Technology-wise, you're going to have a lot of AI stuff to make sure that the monsters actually do what they're supposed to and the towers do what they're supposed to. You're going to have systems for handling the different effects that each thing does. And overall, I think it would be cool if this was done as like 16-bit style. I just think that'd be kind of a cool mechanic for it. So older kinds of sounds, older kinds of graphics. I feel that works well on a mobile device. Makes it where even if it has a lot of units on the screen at once, like this will, it'll still play relatively well on a lower-end device as opposed to a high-end device. So that's why I made that decision. Budget, quite honestly, I felt $33,000 was a very wimpy budget for something like this. For the time frame and the amount that the person's wanting doesn't really transfer well. That said, I'm not in the business yet, so I might be wrong. But I'm kind of proposing 698 Productions, which is the name of my fictional company in here, as a low-cost, high-quality app service. So basically, it's just, okay, we'll take all $33,000 and it'll be spread evenly across everything. Kind of talked about the fictional team, which is one programmer, a game designer, and a sound artist. I'm noticing grammatical errors here now, which kind of sucks because I already turned this in. Anyways, that is what I kind of had in vision for this. I hope I got it right, and if I didn't, then oh well, I guess. Overall, I thought this class was a pretty good class. I don't know if I label it as completely relevant. I think it would be cool if a lot of what we're learning in this was grouped with another class, because I feel that would be a little more functional that way. Maybe with the game design class, group game experience and game design, That way we're learning it at the same time and not having a class in between separating the two. And overall I liked the class, so didn't really care for this project, but I think that's more because I just didn't really know what I was doing. So anyways, that's my thing. Thank you guys for watching my video, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Good night.